Okay, we're going to go over lesson 4.3, the surface area of the right rectangular prism. We're going to focus on rectangular prisms the next couple days here. Remember, the surface area is the sum of all the areas of the faces of an object. You can use the net of an object to find the surface area. Remember that an area of a rectangle is equal to length times width. So if here's our example right here, we've got a height of 3, a width of 5, and a length of 8. So this is our rectangular prism put into a net. So we've got this rectangle right here would be an 8 by 3. So we go 8 times 3. We know rectangle B is 24 centimeters squared. Another one like this rectangle B would be this rectangle E. So that one would be 3 times 8 as well, creating 24 centimeters squared. This C right here, this length would be 5, this length would be 8. 8 times 5 would be 40 centimeters squared. Another rectangle like this rectangle would be this bottom F, which would be, again, 8 times 5, so this one would be 40 centimeters squared. These two rectangles are the same as well, being 3 by 5 centimeters, so they would be 15 centimeters squared for their area. So one way of doing this is doing the area of the net. So the area of rectangle A was 3 by 5, rectangle B was 8 by 3, rectangle C was 8 by 5. And now it asks for rectangle D, which would also be the same as A, 3 by 5. And then E would be 3 by 8. And F would be 8 by 5. Okay, so we've got 3 by 5 is 15 plus 24 plus 40 plus 15 plus 24 plus 40. So we would add these all together. 15 and 15 would give us 30, plus 24 and 24 give us 48. 40 and 40 gives us 80. 30 plus 48 is 78, plus 80 equals 158. So the area of the net would be 158. Remember, it's centimeters and it's squared. Area is always in units squared. So we say that the surface area of the rectangular prism is 158 centimeters squared. So a shorter way of this is, I kind of alluded to this here, it would be 2 times the area of rectangle A, where we did 2 times 15, which is 30. We can go 2 times rectangle B, which would have been, so this would have been 30. This would have been 2 times rectangle B. Rectangle B was 24 times 2 would be 48. And then 2 times rectangle C, which would have been 40 times 2 would be 80. And again, you add all those up, you still get 158 centimeters squared. And that is the answer. Okay, the we do here. I like when it's written into a net here. It makes it a lot simpler, I find, because you can just put the surface area on each net. So we've got 4 times That looks like 8. 4 times 8, which would be 32 centimeters squared. This would be 8 times 6, which is 48 centimeters squared. This one would be 6 times 4, which is 24 centimeters squared. This one would also be 6 times 4, which would be 24 centimeters squared. This one would be 8 times 4, which would be 32 centimeters squared. And this one would be 6 times 8, which is the 48 centimeters squared. So we can times, so it'd be 2 times 32, which is equal to 64. 2 times 48, which is equal to 96. And then 2 times the 24, because there's 2 of each of these rectangles, which is 48. Then we add all this up. 18, 15, 20. So it'd be 208 centimeters squared that's what the area would be. On this you can basically do the same thing. Fill out all these rectangles, what the surface area is, and then add them up. So this would be 4 times 10, which would be 40. This one would be 4 times 10 as well, which is 40. This one would be 17 times 10, which is 170. All these are in centimeters squared because they are surface area, and areas in units squared. This one would also be 170. This one is 4 times 17, so 4 times 17 would be 68. So this would be 68 centimeters squared, both of these. So we'd have to go 2 times 40, which is 80. We go 2 times 170, which is going to be 340. And then 2 times 68, which is 136. So we add all those. Remember, the ending number's got to be in centimeters squared. We add all those together, and we get 556 centimeters squared. Okay, when we get to without a net, it gets a little bit more complicated, but I've kind of found a way to make it less complicated. So basically, you're going to go 2 times, we'll go, there's 3 numbers here, 8, 10, and 15. The first one I'm going to do is 8 and 10. So 8 times 10, and I'm going to get an answer there. And then we've got to go 2 times, and then this will be the first one. The second one, we'll go 8 times 15. So we'll go 8, keep that beginning number, times 15 equals. And then for the third one is basically the ones without the 8. So this would be the 10 and the 15 there. So we're going to go 2 times 10 times 15. So first off, we're going to simplify. So it'll be 2 times 8 times 10 is 80. This would be 2 times 15 times 8 would be 120. And then we go 2 times 10 times 15 is 150. So 2 times 80 would be 160. 2 times 120 would be 240. And then 2 times 150 would be 300. We add all those up, and we get 700, and don't forget the units, centimeters squared. Next one here, so we've got, be careful with these ones because we've got some of the same number. But we can do the same thing that we did for the first one. So the first one, we just go 2 times 3. So the first one, remember the 2 times, and then 2 times 3 is in brackets. The second one will be 2 times, and now we're doing the second one. 2 times 3. And then the third one will be the 3 times 3. So 2 times 3 times 3. So first we do the brackets. 2 times 3 is 6, which gives us 12. 2 times 3 again is 6, which gives us, again, 12. And we're going 2 times 3 is 9, which gives us 18. So we add that together, and we get 42, and this is centimeters squared. Okay, word problems. The school is holding elections for the student council. The ballot is to be painted. The ballot box is a cube with edge length 30 centimeters. There is a slot on the top. The slot has a length of 6 centimeters and a width of 1 centimeter. What is the total surface area to be painted? So first we need to take a look at this cube, and then we'll subtract whatever area that this slot covers. So the cube would look something like this. So the edge length is 30, so every length would be 30. So we've got the same number. We can still do the same thing. So we're going 2 times, 1 would be 30 times 30. 2 would again be 30 times 30. The third one would again be 30 times 30. So we go 2 times 900, 2 times 900, 2 times 900, which would all be 1800. So if we add all that up, 0, 0, 24, so it would be 55,400 centimeters squared would be the cube entirely. However, the slot at the top would be 16 by 1. So we'd have to subtract slot area, which would be 16 times 1. So we'd minus 16 centimeters squared, and we would get 5,384 centimeters squared. So the question asked, what is the total surface area to be painted? The total surface area to be painted is 5,384 centimeters squared. That's the answer. The last question, the school is holding elections For the student council, the ballot is to be painted. The ballot box is a cube, so again a cube, with the edge length of 20 centimeters. There's a slot on the top. The slot has a length of 10 centimeters and the width of 1 centimeter. What is the total surface area to be painted? So again, this is a cube, but instead of 30 is now 20. So it'd be 20 would be the number. So the first one, 2 times 20 times 20. Second one would be, again, 2 times 20 times 20. And the third one would be 2 times 20 times 20. So 20 times 20 would be 400. So 2 times 400 is 800. 20 times 20, 400. 2 times 400 is 800. 20 times 20 is 400. 2 times 400 is 800. So we add all that up, we get 2,400 centimeters squared. However, we have this slot length, so we need to subtract slot area, which would be 10 times 1, which is 10 centimeters squared. We subtract that, we get 2,390 centimeters squared. And that would be the surface area to paint it. So the total surface area to be painted is 2,390 centimeters squared. That would be the sentence.